So time travel has been speculated for Metroid Prime 4. The producer Kensuke Tanabe had expressed interest in time travel back in 2015. The game's logo has a black hole, which some people speculate indicates time travel due to how singularities distort space and time. In the recent Nintendo Direct trailer, the narrator mentions how this adventure will take place through space and time.
Threads intertwining beyond space and time.
And we potentially see time alteration in the trailer with the plant that fades away in an ethereal glow. So it seems likely that time travel will play a key part in this new adventure, but nothing has been confirmed yet, so this is still speculation. I personally am very interested to see how time travel will be implemented, and have been thinking of a lot of ways that the developers can utilize this idea of time travel. So for today's video, I'd like to lay out and discuss the various ideas of time travel for Metroid Prime 4. If you guys have your own ideas of how time travel could work in this game, or add on to what I said in this video, please feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Just remember, this is speculation, and for all I know, the developers can take this time travel idea to a radically different direction that I never even thought of, but it's still fun to think about how this idea could work out in game. Of course, if you like Metroid content, please feel free to subscribe to the channel as I make Metroid content regularly. Join the membership to support the channel. You get access to early videos, emotes for the channel, and a badge by your name to show your support. And of course, comment whatever you feel like in the comment section below. And with that being said, let's delve into this idea of time travel for Prime 4. So there's many ways that time travel could be implemented for Metroid Prime 4. The simplest way would be that time travel is purely a plot element for the game's story. It's speculated that the planet the Galactic Federation is stationed on, Tanamar, and Viros are both the same planet, just in two different points of time, with Viros being how Tanamar was in the past. The time traveling could strictly just be about Samus being sent back to the past, with no other elements of time travel in-game apart from the plot device to get to the main setting of the game. I see this as the safest way to implement time travel in the story. Samus gets sent back in time, she helps save the planet from the threat of the space pirates, and when she returns to the present, the planet could be restored from a rocky wasteland into a lush jungle. However, I do feel that idea is a little boring, to be honest. The cool element about traveling to the past is having an area we're familiar with and seeing how drastically different the environment was compared to the present. If we were traveling to the past of a planet like Zebes, Talon 4, Alinos, etc., then being stuck in the past on those planets would be fascinating. We know these planets' environments and are aware of the history to a certain degree, so witnessing their past firsthand sounds interesting, but we don't know anything about Viros, so being stuck in this planet's past doesn't seem as exciting to me. And if we're time traveling to a new planet, I would like to see this gameplay centered around the time travel to some degree. Like this, what if we're allowed to go back and forth between Viros' past and present, similar to Ocarina of Time? This would fix the issue I had with being stuck on the planet's past, since now we can actively explore and witness Viros' history, and this could open up a lot of cool possibilities for interesting map designs. It'd be cool to explore a dense jungle in the past and see a dead desert when we go to the present, or traveling up an active volcano in the past and seeing it dormant with tunnels throughout the mountains in the present. How about traveling through a tropical coastline and revisiting the area as a murky swamp in the present? And this mechanic could open up the potential of creative puzzles within the game's environments. An example I have is that you could be traveling through the present with a door blocking your path, with the mechanism to open it rusted up, so you have to travel to the past to open the door before it's broken down, so that the path is opened in the present. Or you're traveling through the past and you have a tunnel blocked by fallen boulders, so you jump ahead to the present so that the rocks are eroded away and clearing up the entrance. There could even be some distorted space-time shenanigans where the keys or mechanisms to open up paths in the past are stuck in the present, kinda like how it worked in Prime 2 with the mechanisms to open up doors in Light Aether being stuck in Dark Aether. In fact, this whole idea of freely exploring the planet at 2 points of time is very similar to the Aether Dark Aether mechanic from Prime 2, but with the context of the two worlds being separated in 2 points of time instead of space. The concept of exploring two interconnected maps worked pretty well in Echoes, so I'd love to see Retro Studios return to this concept and build upon it. But if they do this, I hope they don't limit our exploration with constant chip damage, like in Dark Aether. I really don't want to wait until the late game to fully explore the alternate version of Viros. However, if the player does need to have limited access to the present for puzzles, then they can justify the chip damage by saying Samus' temporal aura is anchored to the past, so traveling to the present will damage her. And if that's the case, maybe that's the function of the red suit we see in the trailer. Interestingly, in the 2015 interview, Kensuke Tanabe expressed interest in a time shift mechanic similar to how the Light and Dark Aether mechanic worked in Prime 2, but he also acknowledges that this mechanic was too difficult for some players, so this may not be the direction the game will go in, and I do kinda agree with this, honestly. When I first played Prime 2, I was severely lost. I even had to restart my save file because I had no idea where to go or where I even was, so simplifying the time mechanics would probably be a better route for accessibility's sake. So instead of traveling between past and present, maybe we can affect the time of the environment, similar to Skyward Sword's Linearu Desert. In the game, the desert had time shift stones that reversed the time around its range into the past to solve puzzles and alter the environment. As I mentioned in the intro, we see the giant flower disappear in a glowing aura. Maybe Samus shifted the time around the plant because it was blocking the pathway and reversed it into a seedling to open the path. With the concept of time shifting the environment, it opens up unique puzzle opportunities. You can time shift broken buttons and mechanisms to restore them to open up pathways, or possibly time shift dried up canals to restore the flowing water again to power generators in the room. We do see destroyed mech suits on Viros. Maybe we can time shift the suits to restore the functionality, like time shifting the arm cannon to restore it and blast open a wall that's been blocking our path. Going back to the idea of time shifting the giant flower to remove it, maybe we can even shift it forward so that the plant can fully grow and mature. That way we can use the leaves as platforms to reach higher levels of the map, and we can possibly time shift segments of the environment to restore terminals and walls to scan data log entries. I do think that this idea isn't as interesting as exploring two different points of time, but the time shift mechanic can lead to some creative world designs, and it would definitely be easier to navigate one map with time puzzles than two interconnected maps. And now for my final idea for how time travel could be implemented in Metroid Prime 4. Instead of time travel being centered around map design and puzzles, what if Samus uses time powers for combat and upgrades? We might have seen a hint of this with Samus using her psychic beam ability. Time slowed down when she was controlling the trajectory of her beam. Of course, this is more than likely just a bullet time mechanic, but who knows? Maybe Samus's new psychic powers allow her to manipulate the fabric of space-time. Maybe she can genuinely slow down or even stop time around her to handle enemies and shoot targets. If she could indeed stop time, she'll be able to fire multiple missiles at once, and when time resumes, the missiles would fire simultaneously to hit their targets. Like from JoJo when Dio throws his knives during time stop. Remember when I made a meme about that? And the idea of aiming missiles during time stop could replace the secret missile functionality. How about Samus being able to accelerate her own time and be able to speed blitz enemies? This idea could be this game's version of the speed boost. And Samus's main beams could have time effects. The time stop beam could freeze enemies in place when they're hit, similar to the ice beam and dark beam. The time speed beam could accelerate enemies when hit to rapidly age the target and do chip damage, to the point where they'll even disintegrate, similar to the plasma beam and light beam. And the time randomizer beam could randomly speed up, stop, and reverse time for the target to stun lock the target, similar to the wave beam and annihilator beam. And with these beams, it could be used for puzzle solving in the environment, like using the stop beam to hold fast moving platforms in place, or using the speed beam to move slow moving gears to generate power for the room. What about a time visor for Samus that will let her see echoes of the past to find hidden pathways and locations of hidden items? That function would be really similar to that one Ben 10 scene with Clockwork. There could be a possible upgrade with Samus's dodge, where perfectly dodging an attack would slow down time so that Samus can counter enemies, kinda like Bayonetta's Witch Time. There could even be sections of the map where time is distorted. Some areas have time slowed down, so traveling through them would be like walking through water, while other areas would have time sped up, so that entering these areas would damage Samus because you're rapidly aging. In these instances, there could be new suit upgrades to protect Samus from the altered time changes. It would be like the time version of the Vario and Gravity suit. So again, maybe the red suit's function is to protect Samus from temporal anomalies. Giving Samus a bunch of time-based upgrades sounds like a fun idea, and even though I would still prefer the idea of two interconnected maps separated from 2 points of time, I really wouldn't mind the potential of Samus having time powers. It does have the potential of being a little bit overpowered, but I'm all for that. Real quick, member shoutouts for ZDS Pro and Vic for being members of the channel. If you're interested in a shoutout, please consider joining the membership to support the channel. Of course though, what do you guys think about the potential of time travel in Metroid Prime 4? Are you for it or against it? I personally really love seeing time travel in stories, so I love to see the idea of time travel implemented in the game to some degree. And I do understand that my ideas do seem a little far out, but time travel mechanics are crazy in general. If you have other ideas or thoughts for the concept, please let me know in the comment section below. Of course, subscribe if you like Metroid content. Join the membership to get access to videos early, custom emotes, and a badge by your name to show your support. And if you'd like more Metroid content, check out the videos above. The first one's a video talking about the potential of Mother Brain being Silex, which is a crazy idea, but I honestly do kind of think there's some merit to it. And if not that, the video about how the Metroid Prime could potentially be a Lamorne. Overall, just crazy theories, but they're pretty cool theories in my opinion. But with that being said, I'm the Metroid Trainer. Hope you like, favorite, subscribe, stick around for next time, and cross your fingers in hopes of getting a release date for Metroid Prime 4, and I'll be seeing you later.